giving you a voice.
Making it loud our own way.
Welcome to the fun.
So, I also I wanted to bring to attention a little bit about like uh just like the general like consensus of how this game is like going to work per se. I think that that's something that could be pretty interesting. So do you guys have any ideas? Do you guys think that there's anything that like would that will sort of take precedence this season and that'll like really sort of put everything else to rest?
In terms of robot design?
Yeah.
Well, looking at past years, it seems that just the small, simple robots tend to dominate. If you're versatile and you're fast and you're good at what you do, there's all these designs that come out that are huge, mega monsters of robots. But in the end, it feels like we're watching World's Finals or whatever with pretty much the same design. So I'm gonna, I do feel that there'll be some meta this year, but it just seems that this challenge is so hard that getting the cycle time could also require a bigger robot. So I don't know if it's going to be different from every other year in that simple wind or not. So we'll have to see what teams come up with.
Yeah. Grace, what's Green Girls working on?
Right now we're trying to focus on our drivetrain. In the past, we have focused on being the unique robot, and honestly, that never works out for us. So we're trying to find and design the best robot possible first and like go with it instead of tearing apart our robot and rebuilding it throughout the season. So we're trying to watch all of the robot reveal videos and, like Peter said, find the simple design that works the best.
Yeah. Shishir, do you want to chat a little bit about your bot?
Absolutely. So as you guys know, we did do a robot in 30 hours challenge as soon as this game was released, and honestly, I think we learned a lot from this. Like, there were aspects of this robot that worked pretty well. I gotta say, our hanger was like very solid, and also like our in terms of our autonomous dumping the team marker out. All of those things, I think we really sort of we nailed it with this robot in 30 hours. There were a few things that I think have a little like room that have quite a bit of room for improvement, namely like the drivetrain. We are looking at different drivetrains because like after making this Actobotics 30 stock Actobotics chassis, we found that just using the stock is way too low. Like the stock parts are way too low to the ground. I think we only have like an inch of clearance, and while we could climb over that the crater zone, like it made it hard. So I think that I've seen a lot of designs on Reddit and like online about teams that are working on different drivetrains with larger wheels, giving more clearance. I think that that's a real way to succeed. So we're still looking at different ways to approach the game. We are like quite a like behind per se in terms of like the design aspect, because we're really taking our time to look at how this game can be played to the highest level of efficiency.
Yeah,
So
but
we're just trying to work through it, and I think that we're gonna try to take some things from this robot, and we're gonna try to improve some things, some other things as well.
Yeah. So talking about efficiency, I guess I'll jump in to chat about my bot. If we can throw up my team's engineering notebook, the link's in that doc. Or I guess we can show this first, actually. We can show the pictures I have first. So here's some of the things we've just kind of been testing with. So this is one of our ideas for the lander. It's literally just a bar. This is a rev linear slide, or I guess a double slide so that it can be supported on both sides. Really just testing that out. If we want to go to the next picture, we can see that this is on our fancy swerve drive that doesn't actually work. So if you can help me with that, ping me on Discord. We can't figure out how to get rev servos to work. But and then we're kind of still tinkering around with everything we did during the Robot in One weekend when Ethan was there to help us out. But we do have some interesting designs that have, that's part of our design. That is there's going to be some surgical tubing on that bar there, and that's going to be our collector, and then that's going to articulate over to then dump into the top of the cargo hold. So.
Wow, you guys are quite ahead.
So if
These
we
things
can,
look very impressive.
one sec, if we can pull up my notebook for a sec, that links in the show doc. You'll see actually. I guess I'll review our design. This is our first design. This is not going to be our final robot. So it's on page 9 there. So what you're about to see is 7 figures actually. So figures 1 through 4 are one robot idea. So as you can kind of see there, so the idea is it's got that little collector mechanism, I don't even know what to call it, that you just saw, and that starts within the robot, and then there's going to be an arm that flips out, and then that's going to extend back and forth within the crater, and then it's going to go up and then dump in order to score. The second idea, which is figures 5, 6, and 7 on the bottom right, is a similar idea. I actually don't necessarily know exactly how this works because I haven't been to robotics in a few weeks, but it's a lot of articulating arms almost back and forth to create this giant linkage, and then that's going to go in and out of the crater, and then using that same dump bowl, go up and dump, and then there's some sort of hanging mechanism on there. I think the hanging mechanisms on both those bots are attached to the up and down motion of the linear slides there. So my team's pretty hell-bent on going in and out using an arm and never crossing into the crater. We're also, I think, going to go with Mecanum wheels, maybe a swerve drive if we can figure it out, but we think that Mecanum or swerve is great because it'll allow you to kind of zip back and forth quickly, and then it will really help in the end and beginning of the game when you go to latch and unlatch, because you'll be able to, this is my latch, you'll have a bar there, and then you can almost just slide out and then slide back in order to latch, and you won't have to do any maneuvers constantly twisting and turning.
That's very true. I think having a passive hanging mechanism can be quite useful in this year's game. We've also been looking at quite a few different both passive and active ways. Generally, like, because the hanging area is so small, passive hang is like actually a real possibility. So I think that's very worth looking into.
Yeah. Ethan, what's Recharge working on? I know you guys have some pretty cool linear slides or lifts.
Yeah, so we kind of started the season, looked at drivetrains. Originally, at the start of the season, we were interested in having a mechanism that could go partially into the crater and intake most of what was right in front of us. So I have like a 17-inch intaking range inside the crater and then driving in after that, and realized that was pretty inefficient as well. A point, if you do decide to go into the crater, that would be something to watch out for and maybe have a partial extension, because if you try to drive into the crater with all of the debris still there, you'll probably get stuck. So we designed and CAD'd a 6-wheel drive and an 8-wheel drive robot. We have some FRC style custom slides that some of you saw on Facebook and Instagram. Those are really, really strong. And then we're rigging them to be cascading. So a hang on a cascading lift can use the first stage to be very torquey and move slowly. And with the second stage, you hang off the first stage and then leave the second stage for a game element. That can be really, really fast because each stage moves at a different speed. So you can hang off the same bar, out the same lift system, where you wouldn't really be able to do it with a cascading lift. That's really about all. We've done a lot of intake and passive sorting options, tried to figure out what the best option for that is. And we've worked on hanging. And our designs are all passive so far, and I am not allowed to spoil any of them.
That's always a good thing. Keep it on the DL for a little while.
Can we get a hint about what Gluten-Free is working on?
All right. So so far, it's actually been very frustrating because I've just been putting into building model after model of all our designs and testing them in the simulator we have, and it's the most frustrating experience because you finally finish a model and you think, oh, I've been working on this for a couple of days, and time to go test it out, and you realize, oh, that's why that design doesn't work. Or you'll be or we'll figure out something and Steven will be catting it, and then we'll be looking at some specific aspect of it and be like, oh, yeah, we didn't think of that. So I think we chose a design a couple, I want to say last week, and we're thinking it's looking pretty good. We haven't had any of the same second thoughts we've had on it, but we still don't know because, I mean, it's so hard of a game to put those balls from such a distance out and deal with them, and we're not only trying to plan for the everyday like playing by yourself, but we're also trying to imagine there's other robots there, and we got to keep in mind our partner or even a bit of defense. So, or even if you're going to the other pit, like maybe that might be a strategy. We don't know, and we don't know until we see matches. So we're pretty indecisive, but I think we've got a design that I'm not going to really spoil right now. But I think it will work.
Peter, will you spoil it for later for us?
Yes.
All right, perfect. You heard
Depending
it,
on
guys.
when.
He's gonna spoil it on FTC Live. Perfect.
Possibly. It depends. I'm gonna take back that because
It's on air,
I
my
don't
friend.
know.
You can't take anything back.
All right.
All right.
Thank you to all of our co-executive producers, keeping fun loud, live, and independent. Pledge your support. Go to patreon.com/funfrc.